Mr. Chancellor, it is my great pleasure to present to you Sir Paul Nurse, distinguished scientist, renowned research leader, and pioneering geneticist and cell biologist. Sir Paul's research career has been devoted to the understanding of the global cellular networks that regulate the cell cycle, thus controlling how cells grow, divide, and are shaped. These cellular controls are fundamental to the growth, development, and reproduction of all living organisms. They're also relevant to understanding disease, particularly cancer. Unrestricted cell proliferation is a hallmark of cancer. Cancer is often associated with altered cell cycle and cell growth cycle controls, and shape changes are associated with metastatic cells. Since the mid-1970s, Sir Paul and his co-workers have used fission yeast as a model organism to understand how the myriad molecular mechanisms operating within a cell act in concert. His identification of the fission yeast gene CDC2 in 1976 was a major breakthrough that provided a foundation for understanding cell cycle progression at two critical transitions. His subsequent work led to the discovery of two proteins critical to the progression of the cell cycle. This work led to the awarding of the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine to Sir Paul and his two colleagues, Sir Tim Hunt and Lee Hartwell. In ongoing work, Sir Paul and his co-workers tackle essential questions in cell biology that require the development and application of molecular genetics, genomics, and chemical biology. But Sir Paul's impact extends far beyond the research laboratory. He currently serves as the first director and chief executive of the Francis Crick Institute in London and as the Chancellor of the University of Bristol. Prior appointments have involved positions of great influence and leadership, including as Director of Research at the Imperial Cancer Research Fund in London, Chief Executive of Cancer Research UK, President of Rockefeller University in New York, and President of the Royal Society London. His contributions have been acknowledged in the form of many awards and honors. In addition to the 2001 Nobel Prize in Medicine or Physiology, he's received the Gardner Foundation International Award, the Lasker Award, a knighthood in 1999, the Royal Society's 2015 Copley Medal, and over 60 honorary doctorates. The conferral and acceptance of an honorary doctorate is a reflection of shared values of the most profound nature. Indeed, Sir Paul wrote in his Nobel Prize citation that science is, quote, a liberalizing and progressive force for humanity. As a scientific leader, he's an inspiration to us all at McGill. His association with McGill makes us very, very proud. Mr. Chancellor, I present to you Sir Paul Nurse so that you may confer upon him the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to invite our most recent graduate, Dr. Paul Nurse, to deliver the convocation address. Dr. Nurse.
Chancellor, Principal, Chair of the Board, Dean, members of the University, new graduates, parents and guests. It's a long list. It's a pleasure and an honor to be receiving this degree today from the University of McGill. Thank you. The first and most important thing I want to say is, of course, congratulations to the new graduates, the class of 2017. Most of you will have worked very hard to get your degree. It takes a lot of work to do well, so congratulations. It's time to be proud of yourselves. You should also thank those who have helped you get here, parents, relatives, partners, friends. They will have supported you in all sorts of ways. They are proud of what you have achieved, so thank them. And thank the university too, your teachers and everyone else who works here. All in their different ways have contributed to what you have achieved here. Some of you will continue in the university sector, perhaps carry out research. Most of you will probably go on to other things. But whatever you decide to do, good luck in your future. Many of you here are biomedical students, and because I am a biomedical researcher, I want to say a few words about science. Whatever you go on to do, keep with you the importance of science as a reliable way to gain knowledge about the natural world and about ourselves. Remember the attributes of science: respect for accurate and reproducible data and observation, the absolute need for honesty and consistency in all your work, the recognition of the importance of skepticism and doubt, especially about your own ideas. I wish President Trump were to take some note of these attributes. It would make his Trump Twitter twaddle easier to listen to. Science thrives on the permeability of ideas and people. It flourishes in environments that pool intelligence, that minimize barriers, that are open to free exchange and collaboration, and are tolerant of others and the diversity of their ideas. This last attribute for the need for tolerance is particularly poignant today, given the recent attacks driven by intolerance in London this weekend, which I know have touched Canada as well. These attributes I've described are characteristic of science, but of course apply to most other intellectual activities as well. Science has a great power to understand the world and to change the world. It has an important role in benefiting humanity through improving the quality of life and health, of relevance to many of you here today, for creating new wealth, for helping to solve the great problems of humankind, for protecting the environment. And increasingly, science will play a greater role in all society's democratic decisions. And you are well placed to help science benefit humanity. Now, as an honorary graduate, I'm expected perhaps to offer some general advice to the new graduates. In thinking about this, I'm always reminded of Oscar Wilde's thoughts about such advice. He said, "The only thing to do with good advice is to pass it on. It's never of any use to oneself." But I will say a few things. The first is to recommend that you keep your curiosity, a feature of youth, but that can diminish as you get older. Resist that, remain curious. The world is a wonderful place, endlessly interesting, which will enchant you all your life should you remain interested in it. I agree with the historian George Trevelyan, who said, "Disinterested intellectual curiosity is the blood of real civilization." The second thing is to suggest you remain an enthusiast, embrace causes, pursue your interests, care about the world, care about the people around you. When necessary, be passionate about these things. Do not let grass grow under your feet. Get on with things, as Horace said in the 1st century BC, "Carpe diem, while we are talking, time is fleeing, seize the day." My third piece of advice, keep your sense of humor. There is a danger, whilst being intensely curious, passionate, and enthusiastic, that you start to take yourself too seriously. Do not forget to laugh, especially at yourself. One of the best anecdotes to the downs in life, and you will have downs, is humor. A day without laughter is a day wasted. These are my suggestions of advice, but don't forget what the great British scientist Max Perutz said about advice. I believe after a similar speech to this, one final word: never follow the advice of your elders. I want to say one more thing to the scholars, teachers, and officers of the university. Higher education has become very complex, with a focus on financial targets, budgets, research assessment, impact, innovation, strategic aims, and so on. With all of this, it can be easy to lose sight of one of the main reasons for having a university. It is to teach students at all levels to think, to value freedom of thought, to be tolerant of others' opinions, to respect innovative ideas. Robert Hutchins of Chicago University summed up much of this when he said, "Education is not to reform students or to amuse them or even to make them expert technicians. It is to inflame their intellects, to teach them to think." Students need to be taught to think differently. If they leave a university without the passion to challenge, to disagree, to quest for truth, however uncomfortable, then their education has failed. Thank you, McGill University, for this honor, and good luck to all the future graduates. Thank you very much.